So will the large cap move, which finally seems to have started, continue? Which naturally on the other side means that mid and small caps continue to take it a bit easy. 26,200 plus on the Nifty. It's an absolutely flat start. And I think yesterday as well, it was something like that. The Nifty Bank is down about 0.25%. It's a little bit in the red. The Sensex is starting, it's blinking red and green, 85,800 plus. And you've got the mid-cap index, which is starting about 0.09%. Let's just look at the IT index. It's there on your screen, and that's a 2% pop on the Nifty IT Services Index. So, I mean, like it has been for the last 10 days or so, up or down, IT index is right out of the gates, one of the big movers. So this morning, it's up 1.8 after those that Accenture rub-off more than anything else, I guess. There's 30 stocks which are down, nearly 30 which are down, and about 20 stocks which are starting higher. And that is the market heat map, the Nifty heat map, and gives you a snapshot view of how markets are opening and stocks are opening. But individual names, Survi.
Okay, let's get to it then. Hindalco among the big movers on the Nifty. There's also Tata Steel, the metal stocks that we were just discussing. So there's some shine continuing over there. And then it's IT all the way. So the read-through from Accenture, for now, the market's taking it with both hands. LTIMindtree 2% higher, Wipro 2.5%, Infosys 2%. HCL Tech is tracking some gains, TCS as well. So the entire IT pack is right up on top. The problem is banks. Now, SBI has finally decided to move about 0.25%. It's been a non-starter all through this week. But the other bank stocks, they're not quite playing ball. Axis is slightly lower, HDFC Bank is down, and ICICI Bank also losing about 0.25% right now. So while IT is up, banks are not. Let's see some more names on the downside, because the Nifty is failing to really take off in any meaningful manner. L&T is still facing a bit of a drag. Yesterday, there was a negative brokerage note from HSBC that still seems to be weighing on the stock. Power Grid has had a fantastic week, so some profit-taking coming through 2% lower. And the other stocks losing some ground include an ONGC, Bharti, Reddy's. And by the way, consumer is weak today. So yeah, along with the frontline banks, Britannia, Lever, these are some of the other stocks. Tata Consumer as well, actually. These are on the lower side. And auto is cooling off after yesterday's top-notch move. Today, auto is starting off on a bit of a more muted note. So Nifty not doing much, very flat timing.
Well, that's right. Sterling and Wilson, that's the stock you should be focusing on. There's a large trade that took place, and Nimesh told us a couple of days back, watch out for it. And now we understand that in all probability, that could be the promoter entity that's a seller. So that's why, in fact, that stock, big volumes, massive ones out there. Reliance Power, well, moves from strength to strength. Very swiftly, the stock has moved from 30 to around 46 rupees. So that's 50% that we've seen in a matter of a month or so. You have Z Media as well. And I think they've spoken about some fundraising plans. And post that, the stock has moved up. And this week, the stock is up, I think, close to around 50% actually. So Z Media has been another big mover. And SPFC, stock has been all over the place. Started the week with a 20% upside. Then, in fact, we did see some profit taking on that name, but it's coming up as one of the top volume movers today. Edelweiss Financial, the reason the stock is up 3% is because of that large trade in Novama. They'll be receiving close to around 1,500 crores, which is more than 12% of the current market capitalization. So even after the 20% move that we've seen in the last 1 month, the stock continues to move up. Easy Trip saw a bit of a bounce yesterday, but that one as well has cooled off a little bit today. And Prism Johnson, I recall the stock yesterday was at around 235. It ended the stock at around 210 rupees odd. And today, Prism Johnson is back up to its winning ways. But aluminium stocks, Vedanta, Nalco, doing quite well in today's trading session.
Well, lots happening, isn't it? And, we should actually just run through the IT stocks for a quick bit once again, because I think that is essentially what is helping the market in a major way. The index is up. The IT index is up 2%. So the TCS, Wipro, and the others, HCL Tech Mahindra, these are the names which should come up on your screen. But of course, the mid-caps as well, Coforge, the LTIM, LTTS, and so many others where Infosys, etc. I think that entire pack perhaps more in focus this morning. So, yeah, this is going to be first off the block in terms of earnings as well. TCS, of course, will be the first off the block. So that's a big one, which will report numbers first up. We'll see if it can sort of do better than last quarter. Remember, for the last couple of quarters, TCS, if you exclude that BSNL order, Otherwise, I mean, ex-BSNL revenues have been flat. So that's the real focus here, not very far away from where we are now in terms of earnings. So that's a bellwether in that sense. Let's just look at PB FinTech as well, if you can quickly take a look at it. And it was down 10 yesterday morning, then recovered 8% from the day's low. It's down another 2% this morning. So that's a bit of a cut, which is coming through at this point in time. So that's PB FinTech with volumes as well. You know, just a quick look at maybe the Nifty Metal Index as well. The big mover, as Nigel was telling us all day yesterday, of course, was Vedanta, I think, at 500 rupees. And that, I think, should come back on. It's up another 2% or so, 510, 511 rupees or so on Vedanta.
You know, Prashant, just want to make one point. On the day the Supreme Court verdict had come, you know, with regard to that retrospective tax, the stock sold off. You know, I recall Vedanta went down to 400 rupees. Tata Steel as well went down, I think, to 135 rupees or thereabouts. All those stocks were down. But when we got the fine print, we understood that, yes, there could be a retrospective hit that will come about, but they've been given more than 10 years to pay that money, which would be a positive in that sense. And from there, actually, you know, you've seen the stocks rise up big time from there. Vedanta, I think, is up close to around 18 to 20% from there on. So we had made that analysis here that, yes, it's a negative, but it's not a knockout punch. And they can come back from here because they're getting the time span to come up with that money as well. And all the stocks, the metal index itself has come up, and all this in a matter of a month itself. I think the index itself is up close to around 15% or thereabouts. That was one piece. And the other piece we had made is there was a lot of pessimism on Chinese steel prices, Chinese steel demand, domestic prices being at a premium in comparison to imports. When you hear so much of pessimism on the ferrous space, I've seen it in the past, in the last 15 years, normally the sector does see a bit of a booster shot. And now things have turned around. People are calling for, you know, basing out of prices, steel prices. They're saying that only 5% of the total Chinese steel mills are making money. So steel prices have to move on from here on. So I think, you know, we have given our viewers a fair bit of an idea in the last 1 month or so on both these parameters, the Supreme Court verdict, as well as on basing out of steel prices.
All right. No, very helpful, Nigel. Thanks for that. The index itself is up 1% now. So I think it's the IT index right on the top of the leaderboard. And then, of course, it's followed by what's happening with the metal space.